Good afternoon from Orlando, and welcome to the second round of the NCAA tournament, the round of 32. As the 5th seed Duke Blue Devils from the Atlantic Coast Conference take on the 4th seeded Tennessee Volunteers from the Southeastern Conference. The winner here advances to the Sweet 16 in the East region, which will be played at Madison Square Garden next week. Hi everyone, Kevin Harlan, Stan Van Gundy, Dan Bonner, Lauren Shahadi is on our sideline. Dan, with Purdue losing, the East is wide open.
Kevin, the East may be wide open, but when you're playing Duke, it's hard to get wide open because 7'1", 230-pound Derek Lively has something to say about that. Not only can he cover anyone on the court, he can cover anywhere on the court. Here he follows the players, then follows the ball, and finishes off with a block shot. That's good defense.
And Dan, with the theme of the night being defense, there is no better defense in the country than the Tennessee Volunteers. A high-scoring Louisiana team got 55 in round one.
Head coach of the Blue Devils is John Shire. He played there, he coaches there in his first season, and he's got a lineup change this afternoon. Mark Mitchell is not playing. He is injured. Derek Whitehead will make the start. And for Tennessee, Santiago Vescovi is their leading scorer. And they, the Volunteers, are coached by Rick Barnes in his 8th season in Knoxville. This is his 27th NCAA tournament, the most among active head coaches.
He's looking to go to his 8th Sweet 16.
Terrific officials this afternoon here in Orlando. Kip Kissinger with 13 NCAA tournaments, 6 regionals and a Final Four. Michael Greenstein has officiated 4 regionals and 15 NCAA tournaments. And A.J. Desai, 8 NCAA tournaments, and away we go in Orlando with the second of our 2, and Roach, who is huge on Thursday, has it for the Devils.
Tennessee opens in the man-to-man, and it is going to be a physical man-to-man. These guys are big, and they are wide, and they like to hit you.
Filipowski right into Clinches. Away it goes, out of bounds to Lauren.
Kevin, you mentioned Mark Mitchell not starting today because at practice yesterday he landed awkwardly and he's having trouble moving his knee. Look for Jalen Blakes and Jacob Grandison to cover, Ryan Young as well. I'm told it's unlikely he'll play in this game at all unless he starts to move it a little bit better, Kevin.
He's a freshman, Lauren, from Kansas City, and thank you. Come on, across the lane, Filipowski defends. Clinches knocked it away, but he knocks it right to Tyrese Proctor, who is emerging and bringing the ball down and finds Filipowski into a thicket inside. Clinches has the ball.
Oh my! Boy, he blasted him.
Well, Rick Barnes wants physical play, and he said, we're going to hit him. And they did.
I don't think he meant that.
No, what he meant was the help on the play before, where Filipowski ran into bodies. That's what Rick Barnes wanted.
Well, now, okay, after looking at that, I'm not so sure he hit him all that hard.
No, you're not saying that a player...
No, I would not.
Dan would never say that.
Okay,
I would not say that.
I just wanted to be clear on that.
Clinches picked up his first. It's Roach. He had 23 on Thursday. Whitehead triple. With the rebound by Josiah Jordan-James.
And Duke is going to have to do something to open up that Tennessee defense. They really do a good job keeping you out of the lane.
A lot of congestion in there for the driving Olivier. Come on.
Give Filipowski credit. Tennessee is going to try to go at him all night and really make him defend both in the post and on the perimeter. First time tonight, he stands right up to it.
Well, you saw Lively come to help.
Come on against Filipowski.
And that time, Come just beat him. But you saw Lively come to help Filipowski out. And if Lively's going to do that, then Plavcic has to make himself available.
Roach is blitzed.
They worked on that pick and roll so hard yesterday, Tennessee, to make sure they got the trap we just saw over there on Roach.
Well, you can do that when Lively's the guy setting the screen.
Shot clock at 4. Lively to Roach. Over Vescovi. The triple.
Well, Vescovi went under on the pick and roll. Roach a little bit better mid-range shooter than from three, but he shot it well the other day. Well, he only made one, actually, and he will shoot it when he has that much space.
Ajak lost it. Running is Proctor. It's out to Whitehead for three.
Boy, and there, Plavsic just knocked him down again.
Plavsic upset.
He better be careful.
And that's two, though, and Adu's coming in. You see Whitehead hit that three. And this is really tough. With the Mitchell injury, Duke is forced to turn to a guy who's only a surefire first-round pick in the NBA.
Plavsic coming to block out. Now, Plavsic is 7'1", 265 pounds.
He is a big rascal.
He is,
a state transfer.
But Kevin and Dan, Filipowski, as Dan pointed out on the first one, is doing an outstanding job of selling these calls.
Let's go to our rules analyst, our officiating analyst, Gene Steratore. And Gene, what'd you see?
You know what? I don't think anything's flagrant there, and I think it's a great job early. The officials recognize there's going to be physicality here. We see both of these. With this second one, he kind of seeks him. It's still blocking him out, but it's good to see that the officials are right on top of this and going to limit the physicality without letting the players feel like the intensity can't be there. But this is him seeking now and just delivering a shot, and a good job of the officials of being right on top of it.
Not a flagrant. Gene, thank you. Something tells me we're going to be hearing from you more. Two early fouls on him. Roach will lose it. Proctor diving for it. It's getting grisly, and there is a ball with 17:36 held and a timeout taken by the Volunteers. With Duke by 4, a couple minutes in for a trip to the Sweet 16.
Kevin, I just don't like that timeout. As a coach, to me, my timeouts are more valuable than a single possession with 17:36 to go in the first half.
Stan, it's his use it or lose it timeout, and I know it's early to use it, but when we get to the end of this game, I guarantee you we'll have monitor reviews in the last 2 minutes to check whether the ball, who the ball's off of when it goes out of bounds.
Vescovi, 3.
So he'll have extra timeouts.
That is an excellent execution coming out of the timeout by Tennessee to get their best shooter open for a three.
Tennessee, one of the best defensive teams in college basketball. Duke right now is playing the best basketball for this young team that they played all season. Filipowski. Adu defends.
And Filipowski, you know, he's not noted as a guy who likes to play down there, but he can play very effectively in the low post.
He's 7 feet tall with great touch.
James, a floater on the fly, or is he trying to pass? Hard to say. Out of bounds nonetheless.
He would tell you he was trying to pass, but that looked to me like a floater on the fly.
I thought so too.
I think it was a shot, but if Kumwa had been able to catch it and convert, I would have given him an assist.
You're really easy, Stan.
Well, you know, give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I don't know for sure what he was trying to do.
Duke is 27-8 coming in.
So this is great ball pressure.
Proctor weaving, and Filipowski.
Well, Meshack's as good on the ball defender as anybody that I have seen.
Proctor 3. Some defense was there. Vescovi the other way. Proctor will defend.
Well, maybe as good as Proctor is seen, too.
James. It's a triple, which is off. Adu with the hustle.
Tennessee's a great offensive rebounding team, as is Duke. Something to watch as the game goes on. Both of these teams capable of getting multiple opportunities.
Come over for Filipowski.
Is that a tough shot?
He's got 4 and 2 in a row.
Ron Shire telling his guys to go. They're not a racehorse basketball team, but you want to get down the court before this Tennessee defense can get well established.
Duke has won 10 consecutive games, averaging more than 13 points in the win margin with Roach. trying to pry inside. And James grabbed it. And they call it a tie-up. The Duke Blue Devils, number 5. The Tennessee Volunteers, number 4. A trip to the Sweet 16 of the balance on CBS. These freshmen of Duke have scored 64% of the points for the Blue Devils this season, the highest among freshmen at a big school in the country.
Number 1 is VMI.
Yep. Inside easily, and Tariq Whitehead gets it. And if you're just joining us, Mark Mitchell not starting today. He had started all these games this season for Duke, but injured a knee in practice. About 5 minutes gone in the first half. Vescovi, Adu, Lively there, Filipowski there with a whistle. Duke was picked to finish second in the ACC and back in North Carolina. They eventually finished third with an undefeated home record for John Shire, taking over for Coach K. And then they, in the tournament, beat UVA to capture the ACC postseason. And here is Adu, Dan, at the free throw line.
And he is a good free throw shooter. And Kevin, as you're looking at the stats around this game, the Duke Blue Devils, they are not a dynamic three-point shooting team. They only shoot 33% from out there. They only get 28% of their points from beyond 3. And so to be successful, they have to operate inside. And this Tennessee defense, I mean, it keeps you out of the middle. And these guys, these are great defensive players, and they're wide as houses.
They are big. Volunteers finished 4th in the Southeastern Conference. They lost their starting point guard in late February. Ryan Young is now checked in, feeding to Filipowski, who runs into Vescovi. Whitehead. Long shot, that was over Phillips, who just checks in. With the rebound, lassoed inside by Awaka.
Awaka doesn't get a lot of minutes. He's as good a rebounder as there is in the country. 9th in rebound percentage total, 5th on the offensive glass.
Key to Awaka, and Filipowski will defend. Adu inside, out it goes. Vescovi will get a new shot clock with which to work. Ooh, right into Proctor, foul, Vescovi.
Filipowski got hit in the face on that play too. If you're playing Tennessee, it is going to be a battle, a physical battle.
Well, he really did get hit in the face. That's Adu trying to get the rebound. Oh, yikes. Now remember, Mitchell is already out. They can ill afford to lose Filipowski.
There goes the ice on that temple on his eye socket. And there's Proctor, the Australian, taking one.
Wow.
Gene, what'd you see here on both those plays?
To me, guys, this rebounded play is just a basketball play. He's coming down after securing a rebound, and we see that there's, you know, there's a pretty nice sized cut there under the eye of Filipowski, but I just think it's a basketball play, and you've got big guys going for basketballs, and sometimes these things occur, but I don't see anything there that looks flagrant in my opinion.
Filipowski going for the ball, the ACC Rookie of the Year.
Well, Gene, what about that play out front? I think that's the one they're actually looking at.
And that was on Proctor.
Yes.
You know, I'm just getting a peek at that one right now, Dan. You know what? When I see this one, as he's starting that little swim move, the ball is relatively, you know, it's up around the chest, but the arms and the elbows aren't out to me, and looking like they're in that fashion where you would think that contact would be of any severity with the arms. I actually think on the look we just saw, I'm not sure if it's the basketball that makes that contact.
I think it is,
but it doesn't look to me like a shot to the elbow. Does it look like the basketball from your end, Kevin?
It did, yes. Right, the ball, as he was swinging around, appeared to have it, but that cut is deep under his eye, and we don't need Freddie Pacheco here to tell us that.
Yeah, I think he got hit with the basketball.
He got hit with the basketball, I think.
Proctor's a tough kid.
Yeah, he got hit with the basketball.
And Proctor, here's an interesting thing about those two. Proctor
it's a foul, but it's not a flagrant foul.
Proctor was a roommate of Vescovy at the NBA.
No passing got cuts, a common, or just a basketball play. The second one was just an offensive foul. Ball hits him right in the face and he goes.
All right, Gene, you heard that. What's your feeling on that?
Great job by Kip Kissinger, too. And I think, too, when you look at Proctor's defense, he has provided enough space in front of him so that it's not a cylinder foul. But when Vescovy goes to reach, he reaches into that space because Proctor's given him a good distance to make a basketball move. That's why Kip Kissinger stays with a good call of an offensive foul, because Vescovy kind of reaches into that space on Proctor, and it's a good call for player control.
Well, Duke's running out of guys.
Well, they just brought in Jacob Grandison. There's a whistle, and there's a foul, and that goes on the aforementioned Grandison.
Well, we knew this game was going to be physical. We knew it was going to be a battle, and it is. And now Awaka's going to come back into the game to match up with Ryan Young.
There goes Adu. He is from Durham, North Carolina. As they've got some gel, and they're trying to close that gap under the eye of Filipowski. Vescovy, roommates at the NBA Academy, these two, Proctor and Vescovy. Phillips gets it, and James drives over Grandison.
Really nice job by Tennessee getting into the lane, and they can do that with Filipowski and Lively both on the bench. Ryan Young's a big guy, but he's not a shot-blocking presence.
It's Proctor. Young, the Northwestern transfer, bumping into James. He's on a swivel. Shot clock at 7. Roach careening into bodies. The ball was deflected. It's loose and vacuumed in by Vescovy. Here come the Vols. Hold on! Julian Phillips finishes off the play.
Well, they thought that Julian Phillips was very, very nervous the other day. Assistant coach Justin Gainey telling Rick Barnes that, and so maybe that'll get him going.
Roach punching into the paint. Out of bounds, shot clock at 14.
Wow, this is really some play. And Tennessee, you know, we talked about the effectiveness of that Duke defense. What's less effective, the defense, when you can get the ball out and run. And Tennessee's defense is creating these opportunities because Duke's offense is totally out of rhythm.
Young and Whitehead check out for the Blue Devils. Filipowski back in there with Lively. Proctor will inbound, and Adu jumping up and down, and a timeout for Duke.
Well, Tennessee creates problems because on every baseline out of bounds, they put their center on the ball, and it's tough for those guards to find open people.
So far, Duke, I mean, they haven't backed off, and they have to be careful not to back off, but this is really tough.
Proctor, Phillips got the inbound steal, and then Filipowski answers at the other end.
But that's what we were talking about on the baseline out of bounds. John Shire uses his point guard, Tyrese Proctor, as the inbounder. He's trying to get that ball in over Jonas Adu, and he wasn't able to do it.
And they called a timeout, and then they set up another play, and they still couldn't get it in. Very fortunate to keep that one over the Blue Devils.
Roach, a junior. Grandison, Filipowski off a screen in the drive. Bodies falling up and under and off.
Filipowski made a nice move. He got absolutely swarmed inside, got a pretty good look, and he's excellent with that left hand, but just wasn't able to finish that one.
Well, Adu got behind him and I think tipped the ball. Filipowski's, I mean, he's got to be patient. He's, you know, he looked to me like coming back up the court, his body language, like maybe he was a little upset.
Tyreek Key with the miss. Lively with the rebound. He had 6 blocks on Thursday. Proctor will rock it the other way. And Filipowski with the ball. Another hit. Roach.
Well, this ball pressure is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it has always been the foundation of Rick Barnes' defense. And Coach Barnes has always had among the best defensive teams in the country.
They just control the paint, don't they? What a rejection! Swatting it away, Edu. The length of the Volunteers. The freshman for Duke. Bodies banging, crashing it to each other early on here. Moments ago, Rick Barnes, the Volunteers coach, with our Lauren Shahadi.
Coach, we know about Duke's size. How's your length helping?
Well, we got good size, and once we settled in and got the nonsense out of the way, I thought our guys great effort. You know, great job on the out-of-bounds situations, and we've had good shots at it. Going to be a good, hard-fought basketball game.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
1 second to shoot on the inbound from Proctor of Duke. Filipowski. Proctor. Roach tees up a three. Duke had been scoreless for the last 4 minutes until that hit.
Well, we said, though, they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league, or in the country, one of the top 10. And they get a second opportunity there, and Roach converts.
What a great play by Proctor. He hardly was hit the floor before the ball was out of there.
James and Proctor. Meshack and Roach. Rebound, Lively. He's got 2.
And I love that interview with Rick Barnes. A little smile at the end. This is the kind of game Rick Barnes loves to coach in.
Whitehead, who started for Mitchell. A robust move into the paint with a foul. That's going to go on Meshack. Watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device. With NCAA March Madness Live. Scan the QR code now to download. Meshack picks up, Dan, his first foul for Tennessee.
What we've seen here so far, I think, and I don't mean this literally, but it's almost like Duke has been punched in the mouth. And so these are young guys. Let's see how they respond.
I think you can say literally.
I agree with that.
Proctor. Edu, mismatch. Oh, behind the back in the fadeaway. Lively was trying to dig for it.
Now, one thing that you're going to have, if you're going to play as physically as Tennessee has been playing, you're going to have to expect to pick up some fouls, maybe a lot of fouls.
Well, they're 259th in the country in sending opponents to the free throw line. It's really about their only weakness on the defensive end of the floor.
Olivia Comwa just picked up his first for Tennessee. There's a quick inbound and a quick foul. 5 second, take that back, 5 second violation.
Well, that baseline out of bounds defense is very difficult. Jonas Aidoo is how you have to inbound. And if you're going to inbound with your point guard, it's going to be difficult.
Vescovy back in. With Proctor on him. James, Aidoo screen, 3 off. Lively rebound, 3rd.
Tennessee doing a great job getting back.
Ball was deflected. Rhodes tries to get it. It will be Duke's ball. Under 10 to go in the first.
You know, it's amazing. They drive in. You think, okay, he's got a little bit of an opening. The defense has collapsed. He can kick it out. But Tennessee's so active with their hands, they're tipping those passes that they're trying to make out to three-point shoot.
Aidoo checks out. Plavcic checks back in for the Volunteers. He's got 2 fouls against Louisiana the other night. 9 points in 19 minutes with a couple boards.
My guess is we haven't seen Plavcic's last foul today.
Filipowski backing his way in. Comwa hits the deck.
It's possible we haven't seen Plavcic's last foul in the first, 11 minutes of this half.
That's very possible. But look, Filipowski, he's taken 3 hits already today, and he just puts his head down and goes to the basket on that one. Give him some credit.
Comwa picks up his 2nd foul for Tennessee. And here is Filipowski at the free throw line. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals against Oral Roberts on Thursday. And this Wednesday, Survivor has epic challenges and stunning game moves. Don't miss the new Survivor Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS and is streaming on Paramount+.
We got a game of Survivor right here, Kevin.
Too, that's right.
Who will be the last man standing out here?
Survival of the fittest.
Well, you know, I thought, speaking of survival of the fittest, that maybe Filipowski was rocked a little bit, but he looks like he's totally recovered now.
Yeah, he does not look
intimidated.
like he has been deterred at all.
Lively is on Vescovy, and then they get it back up on top. Vescovy now. Lively is there. Long three off rebound. It's inside. It was grabbed by Awaka. Ends up to James over Whitehead, who got a hand on the ball on the shot. What defense by Derek Whitehead?
But what defense by Lively? He tracked the ball all over that half-court situation.
As he seems to do all the time. Constantly moving. Filipowski. Whitehead, three.
And this is who John Shire was forced to put in the starting lineup today. Just a guy who I guarantee, whenever it is that he comes out, will be a first-round NBA draft pick.
Meshack, James, Meshack, Vescovy. Josiah Jordan James, a senior from Charleston, South Carolina. Clinches. Vescovy snakes inside for the shot. Off of Tennessee, back it goes to Duke.
Well, one of the terms that has become popular lately in basketball are 3-and-D players. Whitehead blocks the shot, goes down to the other end, rises up, and makes a three. This guy is super talented, the prototypical NBA wing player, and a tough guy to stop because, Dan, even if your defense is great, he can just go over the top of you from just about any range on the floor.
Duke is on a 7-0 run. Filipowski. It's the Blue Devils' biggest lead.
Stan, I'll tell you, that defensive intensity by Tennessee was great to start the game, but it's hard to maintain that level of defense if the offense is going to score against you. And what a response by the Blue Devils.
Vescovy triple, book it. And Tennessee, which started 5 of 9, 0 of their last 6 until that hit from outside.
Well, hey, look, we've talked a lot about Tennessee's defense, but Duke's a heck of a defensive team, too. Another top 25 defense. I like what I've seen out of Filipowski. I like his response to the physical play. He's going right back at it.
Roach. Filipowski, another triple. Vescovy says it, hurtling his body out of bounds.
Filipowski looks like he should be a better three-point shooter, but he's under 30% on the year.
Big screen on top. Awaka, foul. It goes on Duke. Proctor will pick up his first. The Duke Blue Devils, the Tennessee Volunteers on CBS. Duke is led by as many as 6. Tennessee is led by as many as 3 moments ago. Lauren with Duke head coach John Shire.
Coach, I hear you yelling, catch it, catch it. How are you establishing a rhythm offensively?
Well, it's hard to establish a rhythm. They do a great job on defense. They're really good at what they do. So for us, we just need to have poise, continue to play strong. We had some really good drives the last stretch. We need to do more of that here the rest of this half.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Well, poise in the face of that kind of physicality and pressure, Dan, is absolutely key in any game.
Well, it is, and speaking of face, every time Duke goes over to the bench, they're still working on, it's like, can he last 15 rounds? It's like he's sitting down in between rounds of a fight. They're trying to keep that blood from coming from under his eye.
They got a good cut man over there, Julian Phillips on top, Vescovy. He gets by Roach. And down he goes and fouled on the shot, and under 7 to go, and Roach will pick up his first foul for the Blue Devils.
Vescovy is so smart. He knows that they're running out to defend that three. He gives that little fake and gets inside and draws the foul.
He's got one of the best shot fakes in basketball. I didn't say just in college basketball, in basketball. But my other takeaway from that interview was this. Lauren Shahadi works a whole lot harder than we do.
Follow, highlight her for everything you need to see her and what she's doing in sports and culture. Scan the QR code now and don't miss another moment. Vescovy, a 2-time first-team All-Southeastern Conference player.
Little zone press here from Tennessee.
Roach. Big game Thursday at the controls. Hand on the rudder, and he takes it the other way for the Devils. Although Proctor now relieves Roach a lot of the times, bringing the ball up, and that has been a developing story for Duke this year.
Well, Duke has turned it over 6 times. That's resulted in 7 Tennessee points.
Grandison. Filipowski doubled. Oh, they just picked his pocket. Vescovy the other way. Head fake, and Grandison is there and back out with a screen by Plavsic. Tyreek Key. Vescovy looking to fire every time he's got it. Oh, a lot of traffic inside. Lively just knocked it away as Plavsic was trying to fire. Whitehead by traffic. 16-footer. No, foul called. It is on Awaka, who picks up his first.
There's some kind of intensity out here. Filipowski never saw him, and Vescovy was able to knock that away without fouling. And then, you know, Plavsic is a big guy, but Lively, even though he's not as wide, he is a really good athlete and a great shot blocker.
If you can't dunk the ball on Lively, you're going to have a hard time scoring around the rim.
Whitehead at the line. There's a look at Lively. Tariq Whitehead starting for the injured Mitchell. Whitehead, the Naismith National High School Player of the Year.
And even though Whitehead has played very well, Mitchell may be the one Duke guy who might be built for this kind of game.
That's a good point.
Oh, that's an 85% free throw shooter, just missed 2.
Dan, coming into the tournament, he was 23 of 26 for the season. He was 0-1 the other night. 6 to play, first half. James, again, getting tangled up down low. A quick foul. Roach will pick up his second, the guard for the Blue Devil.
Roach is hanging on there, and that's right in front of the referee. Roach wraps his arms around him, and boy, I'm telling you, you set a screen, you better be able to plant yourself because these guys are running into you.
And give the young guy Phillips credit for setting that solid screen. That's ultimately what ends up drawing the foul. That's the reason for it.
Tennessee shooting 35% from the floor. 2 of 5 from 3. Vescovy. James. Vescovy. Triple. Inside, Filipowski grabs the ball. His first rebound, and Roach the other way.
Whitehead got away with that one there. He gave Vescovy way too much space.
Travel.
That's the 8th Duke turnover now in the first half.
You know, early in the season, the Blue Devils had a problem with turnovers, and as they have played well, that turnover problem has disappeared, but it has reappeared today.
Well, we've seen times, even later in the year, where pressure has bothered them, and there's not many teams that put more pressure on you than Tennessee.
It's Key. Leaping rebound by Grandison. He is a transfer from Holy Cross in Illinois. Senior from Oakland on the floor for the Devils. Proctor back in. They just took out Roach, and Filipowski on top with James on him and Lively. To the side, it was tipped, it was ricocheted off the fingertips of the ones at Vescovy, and it will be a Duke possession. Shot clock at 14.
Another thing Tennessee has done is they have prevented Lively from touching the ball in a position where he can score, and that's generally right on top of the basket.
Great point, Dan. He doesn't have a shot tonight.
Proctor trying to chisel his way close. He's got his first basket this afternoon.
Well, he's got a size advantage inside, so if he can get down in the paint, even if he can't get to the rim, he's got a chance to shoot it over the top.
Adu, nice shot outside. Jonas Adu, he was the top prospect in North Carolina, and he chose Tennessee, although recruited by the Devils and all the schools in that area, including North Carolina. With Whitehead, a long shot, which will go out of bounds. It's Tennessee's ball, and the clock at 4:22.
Well, Adu, you know, we talked about what a good free throw shooter he is. He can certainly, particularly when you give him that much time, he can make that 18-foot jump shot.
That one looked very good.
James free to fire. Off, loose, vacuumed in. Oh, he's got a swarm of Blue Devils around him, and it's Vescovy on top. And approaching 4 to go in the first half. There's a whistle. Edu is on his back. Foul called. Filipowski is the guilty party there for Duke. It's his first. No one yet in double figures scoring in this one. Duke is led by 6. Tennessee is led by 3.
Well, the interesting thing is turnovers have been a big story, and they're Duke turnovers. We talked about the fact that Tennessee is playing without Ziegler, and sometimes they've had a tough time handling the ball, but not today. They've only got 4 turnovers, and they are leading the points off turnover.
And Stan, as Rick Barnes said yesterday, this time of year to lose your point guard, it couldn't have come at a worse time. It was on February 28th when he went down with the torn ACL. Oh, slammed in on the miss. And punched through by Joseph Edu.
You're not giving him an assist on that, Kevin? Phillips, I thought he threw the lob over the top.
That was a mistake by Lively. He went after that ball to get a block. He had no chance to block it, and that left Edu wide open.
Filipowski.
That's a great point, Dan. Shot blockers have to exercise some discretion.
Vescovy has it. Lauren, what do you have?
Spoke with Zakai after he jumped to pass and landed awkwardly. He had surgery on Monday, so he's not here today. The doctor didn't want to risk any blood clots. The first thing he did after the injury, get this, apologized to his teammates for letting them down. He's anxious to get back on the bench in his scooter and cheer on the guys. He said he needs his guys to make it to next weekend, and he will be there.
He's watching today. Lauren, thank you. They miss him, and they've had to adjust on the fly, which is tough to do. Roach. Filipowski tees one up from 3. Rebound is lassoed inside. They get it to Julian Phillips, freshman from South Carolina. Vescovy. James tries to penetrate into Blue Devils there. Edu. Filipowski getting the rebound inside. He's got a couple.
Give you an example of Filipowski's versatility. He's able to stay in front of a guy like James.
Well, they wanted to test him today. They wanted to go at him. He has stood up to that challenge very well. Now he's struggling on this end of the floor against Tennessee's great defense.
Accelerating is Proctor. Outside Grandison. The triple won't go. The rebound is collected inside. Vescovy's off to the races. Approaching 2 to play in the first half. Off the screen, Vescovy, and down low it goes. With Edu trying the reverse. And a rebound by Lively, who hits the deck. And he triggered off to Proctor. He'll accelerate.
A little advice for the Tennessee big guys. Challenging Derek Lively inside is not going to be efficient offense.
There's an offensive foul. Lively will pick it up. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg, Clark, Wally, and Charles will break down our first half. They'll have highlights from our first game between Furman and San Diego State. Going to the Sweet 16, and they'll look ahead to Arkansas, Kansas from Des Moines. All coming up on AT&T at the half. Lively picks up his second foul.
And John Shire's very upset about the call. You can understand, but Lively's trying to set a screen, and when the defense is as active as that defense is, number one, it's hard to set screens, and number two, with all that contact, it's hard for the officials to tell who's moving and who's not.
Meshack is in. Vescovy has the ball. Edu. Key, 3, good! It's a 4-point lead for Tennessee, their biggest today, and part of a 12-2 run.
Got to get in the lane somehow.
Young to Roach, the push, the foul. Roach will pick it up. Roach has got his 3rd.
It's a good call. He pushed off. It was also a great sell of the call by Vescovy. Just put a little arm out, and Vescovy watching. Oh my gosh! Oh, great job. I don't have these bios in front of me, but I'm guessing Vescovy and Kyle Filipowski are both drama majors at their respective universities.
Well, that's the Tennessee pressure again creates that. The pass wasn't a great pass, and Roach is trying to protect the ball.
Meshack, Vescovy, and a foul. Vescovy was moving because he had space, but there was a foul, and it goes on a walk-up. Vescovy was setting up to fire. Tip Kissinger visiting with Rick Barnes.
The officials are going to run out of air in their lungs to fill these whistles.
Yes, they are. I didn't see that one clearly, but I know Awaka is a big body who's certainly willing to set solid screens.
Proctor. Young a screen and the feed thrown away. Vescovi the other way. Dancing on Grandison. He's always moving, isn't he?
Always. Well, you're going to guard Vescovi, you're not going to get much rest.
Half minute to play. Awaka. Filipowski on him. Difference. Shot clock, game clock, about 11 seconds. Vescovi outside. Proctor waiting. Outside. Took that from Memphis, and out of bounds it goes. It's off of Duke and 3.0 on the shot clock.
That was a deep shot by Vescovi.
Yeah, it was almost like he thought the shot clock was at 1. He had plenty of time to get the ball closer to the basket.
Vescovi led the SEC in three-point shots made last year, number 3 this year. Key 3, and Vescovi hustling, got the ball again. Final seconds, first half. Vescovi making the move. Inside, Edu by Young. Tennessee closes the first half on a 14-2 run the last 8 minutes. And Vescovi has been terrific. Lauren, take it away.
Coach, a 14-2 run. What do you like most about it?
I thought our defense was really, really good. You know, we stayed after, came up with some deflections. Our out-of-bounds defense was good, and we started really moving on offense, and we got to get that movement more.
My guy said this is the exact kind of game you want. How accurate are they?
It is. What we said coming from the beginning. We wanted them to fill us every possession and really be aggressive and physical and go at it, and we've done a pretty good job.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Right, thank you.
Kevin.
Points off turnovers, 12-3 Tennessee. Bench points. You can take a look at the fewest points that Duke has scored in the first half of an NCAA tournament game. It's the first year without Coach K. 42 years he led this program. Watching this afternoon, Vescovi inside, Proctor there. James a triple. Wow.
That's a great start for Tennessee.
So now it's a 12-0 run.
With Vescovi in, Tennessee is plus 11. When he sits, -3.
Not surprising.
Nope.
He's their best offensive player.
And punched away that time by Kumwa. Filipowski misses it all.
Well, Kumwa just turned a post-up into an air ball three-pointer.
Blue Devils still a little sloppy handling the basketball.
Meshack. He traveled. Tennessee has had 8 more shot attempts than Duke this afternoon. Lauren, we swing it over to you.
Oh, well, Dan was spot on earlier. Jeremy Roach at the top of Coach Shire's list, but I was surprised. Coach said nothing changes. He can't play like he has 3 fouls. That will do us no good. He was very clear that a few less turnovers were leading this game. He said if we match their physicality while staying in control, we're good.
Lauren thanks. Here's Lively on top. Clinches is on him. Duke has had 1 score the last 9 minutes. Whitehead inside, he started, torn away. Clinches.
The number of deflections is just amazing.
Well, you got to give the ball up a little bit early. They're taking it a little too deep into traffic.
Nice pass, Vescovi.
When you see that help coming, Dan, when you see it coming, not when it's already there, you got to get rid of the ball.
Meshack, shot clock at 7, the bump into Whitehead, the feed to James, he'll trigger. Filipowski the rebound.
And now you got to move it up the court a little bit so before that defense gets there.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job getting back, but I totally agree with you. You've got to find some space, and transition is one of the few ways you're going to find space against this defense.
Roach with the 3 fouls. Vescovi is on him defensively. It's a three, and it comes at a good time for the Blue Devils.
That's a big shot.
Well, he's hit all 3 of his threes today. They've got to try to find him more of those, and they needed that one bad.
Well, you can't change your style of play, but Duke's really struggling with their dribbling against this Tennessee defense.
That's going to be doubled. Try to put him outside. And come on, knocks in a three-point shot of beauty outside. And he has 7, his first triple today.
He's only a 31% shooter out there.
Wow. Roach makes a move. Vescovy tries to stay in front. And Roach again sneaks inside.
And that's exactly what John Shire told Lauren, that Roach cannot be tentative, and every time you take the ball in there like that, you're risking a charging foul, but you can't worry about that.
Well, Roach was their guy the other night, 23 points.
Big drive inside. Miss right there by Meshack.
And he's turned his ankle now, has Roach.
He says, I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm all right. He didn't look all right.
He is the only player on this team who contributed to last year's Final Four run for Duke. Oof, that left ankle.
That left ankle, he stepped on the heel of James.
He has had back-to-back 23-point games. In the championship game of the ACC, he had 23 against Virginia, and against Oral Roberts on Thursday here in Florida, he had 23.
And those are fairly big games, Kevin.
I would say so.
Conference tournament championship and an NCAA tournament game, yeah.
So as Dan said, that is the biggest concern right now, staying above water.
Look at that defense.
It's something else, isn't it?
He's trying to throw it inside, and he can't do it.
3 to fire, Proctor triple, fouled. Clinches picked it up. And now he's got 3, and Proctor to the line for 3.
Oh, and it was such great defense by Tennessee. And then it ends at this. You cannot fly toward a three-point shooter. You're going to foul all the time. If you don't foul them up top, you're going to get into their landing area. We've seen a lot of these.
And it's driving you crazy. It's driving you nuts.
Well, what's driving me crazy is I really admire how hard all these teams are playing defensively, but you waste all of that great effort on that possession with an undisciplined play.
Proctor at the line, a freshman from Sydney, reclassified. Should be a senior in high school. He'll be 19 April 1st, so he's an 18-year-old up there in a big role for the Blue Devils on a team of young players. Key will come in as they take out Meshack. Plavsic will check out. Adu is in.
Well, here, look, you don't have to be a math major to understand this. Proctor is a 32% three-point shooter. He's an 87% free throw shooter. You just turned a 32% shot into an 87% scoring opportunity.
And just like that, Duke within 4. With a turnover.
Like, you know, Dan, I was a PE major in college, and I can understand that.
Duke thought they had it.
I did too.
And they went back, and then they waved him off.
Well, they've got to get stops, obviously. They've been pretty solid defensively. I mean, Tennessee only had 27 at halftime.
James will drive low. Whitehead with the block. Oh, he soared and he's got a couple.
That's his second block, and those are on jump shots. That's not easy to do. This guy's a heck of a defender who can really shoot the ball. And that's 2 things that every team at every level can use.
James in on Whitehead, shot clock at 6. Key, the transfer from the Missouri Valley. It's inside. It's grabbed in there by Roach. In a 4-point game, here come the Devils. Roach thinking 3. Filipowski. Proctor. Keys on him. Oh, a little shake and bake as he takes it down the lane. What a play! Vescovy the other way. Lickety split. Takes it in. More Duke defense. Filipowski got it. Here comes Proctor. Right into Adu.
It's a bad idea to shoot it when Lively's down there.
Yes. Bad decision.
Proctor, free. Rebound by James. Dan, to your point.
I'm just not sure that that's the shot Duke was looking for. Proctor, as Stan just mentioned, is not a great three-point shooter.
Key inside. Oh, come on!
There's Roach.
That's Roach's 4th foul, and what a finish by Kamwa.
And there is an old friend, Charles Davis, from our CBS NFL football team, enjoying the game.
So you don't think he's rooting for Duke, do you?
I don't think so.
Certainly doesn't look that way.
No, for all appearances.
Dan, you're an observant.
Yeah, I try to be.
Olivier Kamwa is at the free throw.
Stan's handling the math. I'm handling the observation.
Olivier's dad hailed from Cameroon. His mom is Scottish and Finnish. Actually played for the Finnish national team. He's a senior for this Tennessee ball club. They're back on defense. 5 minutes gone, second half.
And they're without Roach. He just picked up his 4th foul. He's on the bench.
Yeah, a lot's going to fall on Proctor now to create shots.
But he has been emerging. They take it away with James, and a tie-up right there with Grandison, the senior, holding the ball. Duke's ball.
Well, again, Grandison just not tough enough with the basketball. You can't hold the ball right up there to one of the Volunteers. You know they're coming.
But Whitehead just stood there and allowed the defender, James, to come to the ball. He didn't cut back door. He didn't move. He literally stood right next to him there.
Roach is the only Blue Devil in double figures with 11. And on the bench with 4 fouls. Filipowski down low. Kamwa's on him. They're bumping and grinding. There's a foul. Kamwa will pick it up. And he was his 3rd.
When you're trying to post up against Kamwa, you just have to be tough with the basketball, because from behind, he likes to reach. And if you're tough with the ball, they're going to call a foul.
And he's going to come out now, and Awaka is going to come in. Awaka is as strong, if not stronger, than Kamwa is, so it's going to be tough, and better job getting the ball in bounds there.
Here goes Filipowski, hatcheting his way inside. The pass is intercepted by James.
So that's a tough pass to make from the congestion under the basket.
3 steals for James and a jump shot at the other end. He did it all. Got the steal, took it the other way, and got the J.
Well, he's been aggressive on both ends. He's taken 11 shots. Now, he's only made 3, but he's certainly working to try to score.
Knifing his way down the lane, Proctor.
They desperately needed that basket.
Well, they're going to need a lot out of him. He's really their only shot creator on the floor with Roach out.
But again, the Blue Devils' biggest problem has been hanging on to the basketball.
Key with a surge into the paint. Adu. James. Double. Key. 3. Rebound Lively. He's got 9.
Well, he goes and gets it. He does. He doesn't just take everything coming into his area. You know, numbers can be deceiving. Some guys just, you know, they get a lot of free throw rebounds. They get ones that are uncontested. He's going to get the ball. And John Shire's going to bring Roach back into the game.
Filipowski bashing his way inside. It's loose and coming up with it, Adu.
Now, the other thing, Duke is an outstanding offensive rebounding team. They only have 4.
Vescovi. Rebound and hailed by Lively. Proctor. Lively a screen. Down the lane. Proctor rollicking his way and hits the deck. He looks exhausted.
He certainly does.
Well, this game we haven't had the stoppages that we had earlier. This game's continued on the move.
Vescovi!
You know, know, there haven't been a lot of baskets on the inside going to the basket like this one. And this is a big one because it goes into come on. That was Jeremy Roach's 4th personal foul.
Roach is back in.
John Shire has brought him back in. I totally agree with the decision. This is a crucial time of the game. What good does it do to wait till a 5 or 6 minute mark if you're down 15 at that point?
He'll take it himself and kick it off to Filipowski.
That's a great job by Duke getting the ball down the court, beating that pressure.
And Duke's going to go zone here, partially to protect Roach.
Tyree Key. Phillips, and then the pressure as it was applied to Awaka. 11 seconds on the shot clock, 12:01 to play. The winner here will go to Madison Square Garden and play in the Sweet 16. And with Purdue gone, the #1 out, the East is wide open. Vescovy and Proctor on him. 3. Oh, he got another one! 2 in a row!
And that was not bad defense.
That was great defense, actually. Didn't get beat on the move, kept him in front, and contested as much as he could without getting into his landing area.
It's Roach to Proctor. Grandison back in. And play Roach off the ball. With Proctor in control, Grandison tries to corkscrew his way down and got the ball.
Well, that was not a very good-looking play, but Duke will take that.
And Dan, their first bench points tonight.
Well, normally they have Whitehead coming off the bench, but with Mitchell out, their main scorer off the bench isn't there, and Duke stays in that 2-3 zone, trying to give Tennessee a different look and trying to protect Roach.
Trying to make the ball stand a little bit.
It's Key across the lane. Vescovy quickly grabbed onto and puts up and forces up a shot with that shot clock violation. Time ran out. Turnover by Tennessee. But on top, 44-37. Jalen Wilson, the Big 12 Player of the Year for the national champions, the Kansas Jayhawks. You can take a look right there at some of the notes. Earlier here today in Orlando, 5th seed San Diego State took care of upstart Furman. And we've had no overtime games yet.
We've had some stunning upsets.
We have indeed. 1/16. That was a game that the 16th seed beating Purdue, which opens up the East, which the winner here will go on to the Sweet 16 at Madison Square Garden. Purdue out again early. Roach right down the lane. It's a Como rebound. Vescovy the other way, and Proctor will again greet him.
Now, Roach was determined to take that ball to the basket. I thought he might look for Lively on that roll. That's where Lively is so good.
They're crowding Vescovy every time he touches it. Como inside, hooks it off. Oh! Slammed in, jackhammered in by Julian Phillips. He's got 4.
When a man-to-man team plays zone, sometimes it's hard to identify your blockout responsibility.
Certainly no one identified Phillips that time.
Proctor 3. Good!
That was a huge basket right there.
6 threes from Duke, 7 threes from the Volunteers. Key floats it up. Filipowski lost it. Vescovy. And Filipowski in there. It's getting pretty.
It's been gritty the entire game.
What do you think Tennessee's shooting percentage is when they try to score over Lively?
Not very good.
No, I mean, they were lucky to get the second shot there, but...
Oh, good spin move by Filipowski for the News. Give him 9. And a 4-point game.
You know, this zone defense has changed the tempo a little bit.
Good point, Dan. Here's Phillips. Vescovy. Grandison's on him. The cutting Phillips, the bump into Roach. There's a whistle inside, and a foul, and it goes on Roach. Number 5. Wow, that is a blow to the Blue Devils. And Coach John Shire.
No, they changed the call to Proctor.
They changed the call to Proctor, okay. Proctor reaches in and slaps at the ball.
Proctor reaches in and gets all ball. And then he is
But
fouled.
John Shire is not going to complain about that.
No, not at all. And then Roach gets the foul. John Shire very happy with that call. And the referee gives the Blue Devils a huge break right there.
It's Phillips on top. And the Volunteers will set. Phillips lasers one inside. Kumwa.
Their Kumwa's made some big baskets.
Well, they did a great job getting the ball into the middle of that zone right there.
Whitehead's got to be started for Mark Mitchell today. Inside offensive foul. Filipowski will pick up the foul for Duke, number 2.
Now, this is a situation where Filipowski, he lowers that shoulder. And that's, I mean, this is really a tough call, but you got to credit Kumwa. He's moving his feet and he gets in front so he can put his chest into that shoulder. And again, they've called that all year that way.
I'm going to disagree with you for the second time in this tournament.
And that's okay.
That is a defensive foul. All he did was dive in front of him. If you're allowed to do that defensively, then just tell guys they can't drive the ball. That was a great drive and finish, and the foul was on Kumwa. That should have been a three-point play.
Kumwa, 3. Good! 8 to play. The lead is 9.
Boy, what a turnaround.
Huge turnaround because of a brutal call.
Who 2 defenders fell. Filipowski tries to cash in. And give him 11.
He's playing well. He has stood up to the physical
Boy,
play.
he sure has.
He is staying on the attack. He is up for the challenge.
So Duke climbs in, and then Tennessee stretches it back out, and the Blue Devils have responded every time so far. Let's see if they can continue to do so.
That's to be picked up by Roach. Come on. That's an offensive foul on the Tennessee Volunteers.
And I think Filipowski got hit in the nose again.
Klavcic will pick up his 4th for the Volunteers. Sharp shooting Kumwa outside, lacing it through. Volunteers by 7 now here in Orlando. Time for Aflac Trivia.
Aflac.
So Rick Barnes is one of 9 coaches to take 3 different college programs to the Sweet 16. Clemson, Texas, and the Tennessee program. Which is a pretty big accomplishment, but there are a lot of coaches in NCAA history, Stan, that have done that.
That's not a lot. When we have over 300 Division I teams and we've been playing college basketball for a long time, that's not a lot, and that's a who's who.
That is a who's who, a Hall of Fame listing right there with a look at Rick Barnes. Dan, they're over there taking a look at the replay of something.
I think, you know, Filipowski's head snapped back again, and I think they may be looking at that last foul they called on Klavcic.
Also, I think Kumwa's 3 was perhaps also in question, and that was about 40 seconds ago. Let's see if I'm correct or you're correct.
Last offensive foul, if any flagrant activity.
Thank you. Well, they're looking to see if Klavcic, this will be the 3rd time this game that they've looked at the big guy.
Klavcic is beating the heck out of Filipowski today. And Dan, if there were ever any question of Filipowski's grit, That goes away today.
Duke's territory, you're looking at the same replay we are. Our rules analyst, what do you see?
Look, there's some subjectivity with all of these because big guys are fighting for position. I do know this now from NCAA points of emphasis, and I agree with them. When contact starts to occur in head or neck areas with elbows, even though you're trying to fight for position, when you start lifting your arms and making contact like that, they're going to look at that. I don't think that this is a flagrant foul, but this is getting close because of the direction and the area that they're making that contact, and they've got to continue to look and enforce it when it's there.
Well, you're right, Gene. It's just a common foul.
We thank you, Gene. It's Roach and Key. He's up high. Lively trying to set a screen and does. Roach, Proctor, positions, fires and got it. Vescovy was out of position.
This is a crucial stretch for the Duke Blue Devils. They've cut it to 5, and they need to hold Tennessee within range.
Proctor's been huge here in the second half to keep them close. He's finding ways to create shots.
Phillips a floater inside. And Key's got it. To your point about Proctor, 12 points second half, 14 for the game. Kamwa, Vescovy thought about it, the fake, and Proctor there. Kamwa the spinner.
Kamwa is a tremendous shooter inside the arc. He's not a great shooter outside the arc, but he shoots almost 55% inside. And those little turnaround jump shots.
He's got 17 and 13 stand-up come in the second half.
Yeah, it's him against Proctor right now.
Yep. Vescovy trying to stay with him. Lively with a good screen. Proflich trying to stay in the way of Proctor. Proctor's become a flamethrower. He now has 16 with 14 in the second half.
Tennessee is not paying any attention to Lively when he goes out there to set that screen.
Vescovy at the other end, under 6 to play. Winner goes to the Sweet 16. Klopchich inside, good feed, cutting, come on.
Great pass, though.
Great pass, and that's how you score against Duke when Lively's close to it.
Yeah, and excellent patience by Tennessee to get the ball into the middle of the zone and then big-to-big passing.
Lively with it. Roach lost it on the dribble. Klopchich comes up with it.
Turnover number 15 for Duke.
Here comes Key, who played most of his college career at Indiana State.
Turnovers, the Duke turnovers really have been the story of the game. You know, we talk about the physicality and all that kind of stuff, and that's caused some of those turnovers. But Duke's inability to hang on to the ball is really costly.
Kamwa and Filipowski will challenge. Best Coke ever, take a taste and see for yourself. Foul on Filipowski and stand number 3.
Kamwa has just been outstanding here in the second half.
He scored the last 9 points for the Volunteers.
He just has been so steady, and he's finding open opportunities.
Remember last season, played a game, I think it was in Columbia, South Carolina, and he had an ankle injury that ended his season about midway through the year.
But today, he's got 19 points on 10 field goal attempts. Can't be much more efficient than that. No turnovers either. That is efficient offensive basketball.
Free throw numbers are low, 6 of 7 for the Vols. 4 of 7 from the line for Duke.
Duke needs a little run here.
Well, this is the guy that's going to get him shots.
Roach, 3. Klopchich with the rebound.
Lively hasn't taken a shot today. It's been a long time since we've heard anything offensively from Whitehead.
Vescovy will go down low. Meshack is in on the wing. And it's Kamwa once again. He cannot miss.
He's only
What a stroke.
He's only a 30% three-point shooter, but he's all alone. Duke back to the man-to-man, and they have really struggled trying to defend Tennessee in that particular defense.
Kamwa 3 for 3 today from 3.
Kamwa, the last 13 points for Tennessee. Tennessee. Proctor, three. Kamwa, rebound. Lively poked it away.
I think they called a foul on Lively.
Yep, it sure is. Kamwa has been on fire. He's got the last 13 for Barnes and the Vols in Orlando. It's 9 from 3. The Volunteers have got 7 more points on second chance opportunities. They're plus 13 points off turnovers, and Stan, they've got 5 more rebounds than the Blue Devils.
Yeah, look, I mean, Duke has shot 61% in the second half and has been outscored by 5.
Jalen Blakes is checked in for Duke. Timeout taken, and the Volunteers have their biggest lead of 11. We step aside. Here on CBS, Kevin Harlan, Stan Van Gundy, Dan Bonner, Lauren Shahadi. Meshack has it. Tennessee in control. They break the press. Kamwa, who's got the last 13 for Tennessee. And 3.5 to go. Good entry pass. Meshack there. Filipowski on him. Clinches. Vescovy. Shot clock at 4. Knifing his way in. Kamwa, 3. Filipowski will grab the loose ball. And 5 rebounds for him.
There's a revelation. I didn't know he was capable of missing.
Proctor, 3. Rebound, Clinches inside. Oh, there's a nest of defenders around him, but he held on to it and tried to get it away, and a quick foul called. It goes on Jalen Blakes.
And how about the second half by Olivier Kamwa? I mean, he has been a big part of the offense. Like you say, he scored 13 points in a row by himself.
He has started every game this season, the only Tennessee Volunteer to do so. Scoring right there tells a big story on what he's been able to do here in the second half.
Well, the other thing that Tennessee's done a great job of, Duke's the 8th best offensive rebounding team in the country.
So pressure.
They have 4 offensive rebounds today.
Vescovy at the controls. Edu is in on top. Roach is on Kamwa. Meshack, shot clock at 5. Crowbars his way in. Lost the ball. Filipowski's deep. Proctor ahead. Roach had it knocked away at the iron.
Well, Vescovy is a very underrated defender. He can move his feet and guard the ball. He's got great hands. Couple of steals today. Now a block.
He does such a great job avoiding the body of Proctor. Uses that left hand so he doesn't run into him.
Filipowski squeezes the trigger and gets it in. A lot of defense around him, too. Draped on both shoulders. With a timeout and 2:33 to go. Duke down by 9. They trail by 11. Duke has 1 timeout left, Stan Van Gundy, and they trail by 9.
Yeah, well, he called the timeout to get his press set and to get Roach out of the game so they can be a little bit more aggressive at every spot defensively here in this possession. And with Mitchell out, he's got to go with Blakes in this situation, pressing a guy he hasn't used much of late.
He's a sophomore, Blakes is. They have 4 freshmen and a sophomore out there. Duke does. The 5th seed against the 4th seed Volunteers. Full court pressure, and James gets it off. Vescovy. Whitehead is watching James. Edu. And a foul. Blakes as he corrals Meshack. And Blakes picks up his second.
Well, that's something they had talked about in the timeout, is they were going to foul if the ball got out of the trap, and Meshack's only a 61% free throw shooter.
1-1 right here, and the winner, of course, will go to Madison Square Garden and play the winner of FAU or Fairleigh Dickinson off that big upset of top seed Purdue. Meshack, a 60% free throw shooter. Oh. Top 50 high school player from Fontana, California. He is a sophomore, had a brother who played college football at Arizona. He plays a physical style as he stands at the line. Meshack with his first point this afternoon.
And a great on-ball defender, but turns the ball over quite a bit. They want to try to keep the ball in Vescovi's hands more.
Proctor weaving. Roach will set up. 13 for Roach, 7 in the second half.
There's still plenty of time here.
And Roach has been playing with foul trouble a long time. Filipowski. Meshack had his foot stepped on. Kyle Filipowski picks up the foul, and number 4 on the freshman.
See, and this is the problem. You get into an end-of-game situation, you're trying to foul. You need your offensive players out there so you can score. So you got to foul, but you can't have Filipowski foul out of the game.
Well, no, and that's also a problem when you're down a guy.
Yes.
You know, and they're down Mitchell. That hurts them. I mean, we have said this before in this tournament. Duke is 19-1 when they've had all of their top 6 players. They're only 8-7 today, coming in when they're missing even one of them, and that's where they'll find themselves today.
And regular starter Mark Mitchell not started, and they had Whitehead there. Pretty good to bring in Whitehead. He was a gifted young freshman. Proctor the other way. Under 2 to go. Adu will defend. Proctor will fire. Lively will try to snare it and does. Roach aims from 3. Tennessee the rebound. That was a big miss.
And this is another problem for Duke. We've said a couple times they are not a dynamic three-point shooting team. Now, I don't know whether the game is closer or they win the game with Mitchell, because Tennessee has been absolutely outstanding.
Began playing a physical brand of basketball. Haven't strayed too far from it, but now they're hitting shots here in the second half. Tennessee in the second half has made 50% of their shots. Jackhammered in! Come on!
What a game he's had!
Incredible. This second half.
Filipowski, 3, no, rebound. James and the Volunteers can smell it.
They're trying to foul.
They are. Right there, they get Kamwa in a straitjacket, and it is a foul. He came in hot and high on this putdown. Kamwa.
Well, Lively is the guy that usually just goes up and gets it, and he doesn't think about turning around and blocking Kamwa out.
He doesn't block him out. Kamwa, clean run to the board. And the Volunteers, 48.8 seconds away from Rick Barnes' 8th Sweet 16.
I mean, this was some defensive performance by Tennessee.
There's no question about that. I mean, look, Duke's defense, until Kamwa got going, was good enough, but the 15 turnovers sealed their fate.
This is the biggest lead for the Volunteers this afternoon.
And Derek Lively still has not attempted a shot. So what Tennessee has done, when Lively went up to the top to set those screens, they simply ignored him, and he wasn't able to get to the basket. At regular game, he'll get 2 or 3 dunks rolling off that high screen, and not today.
Kamwa's 27 matches his career high. They try to hook it inside, ricocheted off the palm of Adu, and Lively was in the sights of the pass.
Good luck to whoever wins that Fairleigh Dickinson Florida Atlantic game.
That's a 3 by Roach. It's a rebound by Kamwa.
Come on, Kamwa, let somebody else do something.
Wow. What an impressive performance.
Incredible.
Rocky Top is going to the Big Apple. And the countdown is on. 6 seconds difference, game clock, shot clock. Kamwa has 17 of the last 19 points for Tennessee. Adu, 3, no. Filipowski, and that will do it. The Tennessee Volunteers are going to the Sweet 16. winner of Fairleigh Dickinson against FAU coming up tomorrow. That's tomorrow night on True TV. One slot has been filled for Thursday at Madison Square Garden. Now 3 more to go.
Tell you what, Tennessee's going to be tough for anybody to beat in Madison Square Garden next week. If they play this kind of defense, you are in for a long day.
Well, you sure are, but it's not just the defense. We have seen, as we both looked at Tennessee preparing for this tournament, that without Ziegler, they really had a hard time hanging on to the ball, and that was not the case today.
To Lauren Shahadi.
Olivier, all smiles. Congratulations. What the heck got into you in the second half?
They didn't let me play in the first, so I had to get all my action in the second.
Coach wanted physical. He got it. 9 touchdowns. How'd you guys win at your own game?
You know, it's what we do. We've been in these kind of fights all year. You know, we've lost some, we've won some, and we've, you know, weathered the storm all year.
I keep hearing you guys say we live in the mud. They don't want to get dirty, we live in the mud. What the heck does that mean?
It means we're tough, it means we're hard-nosed, it means we guard, and we bring it to our level, we bring it to our world.
Sakai got injured, people counted you out. What do you want to say to him watching at home?
We love you, Z. Let's go to New York, baby.
Let's go, how sweet it is. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Kevin.
They wanted to play physical, Stan. The Volunteers did, and it worked out.
Oh, it sure did, but like Dan said, that defense you can count on. They're going to have that every night. But the other night against Louisiana, 18 turnovers, only 9 tonight against a better defensive team.
Our next game here on CBS, 8th-seeded Arkansas. They'll take on the #1 Kansas Jayhawks. For Dan Bonner, Stan Van Gundy, Lauren Shahadi, and Gene Steratore, Kevin Harlan saying good afternoon from Orlando. Back to the studio after this on CBS.